Hi everyone, it's Bautren here. I wanted to do a video on my Dendrobium kingianum today, and I have it here with me. But first of all, I wanted to do a mail call. So I actually got this package in the mail today, and this is from someone that I met on a Facebook page, the semi and full water culture page on Facebook. And you guys can actually check it out on Facebook. I will put a link in the description. They are seriously the best group ever. I haven't been on there in a little bit, in a few days, because I've been really busy, but usually I'm just so addicted to going there. Everyone is so nice, and it's a very laid back kind of group, and I like it because it's very laid back. I don't have to worry about, you know, doing anything wrong or saying anything wrong, because they're just very nice and laid back. So this one is a package from I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but it's Novembre a veces. So she actually sent me a package. If I could open it, of course. So I got a back bulb of one of the cymbidiums that was sent, that is from her I can't talk today. So I got a back bulb from one of her cymbidiums. Gosh. And of course, look at that. So there's a little nubbin right there. So I saw the flowers on this. I can't remember exactly what the color is, but it's a really pretty color, and it's got a little nubbin here. So I'm actually going to be potting this up, and it will take a few years for these guys to develop large enough for them to bloom, but I do have a few years, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm just really excited about getting stuff like this in the mail. So I'm just jealous of Anna because she always gets mail calls, so I want to be able to be just like Anna. Anyway, so I wanted to talk to you guys about my Dendrobium kingianum. So here is my plant. I've had this for more than a year, so a little bit more than a year, and I've actually purchased it when it was in bloom. It's a light pink color, and of course it's been a year now, and it was in bloom for quite a while. So after it finished blooming, I actually repotted it, and I used these clay pellets. I repotted it in here, and this is my deli container. It's been in here for about a little bit more than a year. And what happened was, at first I wasn't too sure of how it was going to react to the Leica clay pellets, but I think it did really well because these are actually grown on cliffs or rocks, so they did really well in terms of attaching themselves to the pot and also to the clay pellets. And you can see that all these roots here, see, all those roots were grown after it's been repotted, so some of the roots have actually grown out. But the good thing about potting in this medium is when I repot it, all I have to do is pull it out of this pot and then put it back in a bigger pot, in a bigger container. So I don't actually have to pull out any of the clay pellets. They don't decay over time, so it's just really great. Now these pseudobulbs here are actually newer pseudobulbs. So you can see on one side, these pseudobulbs are smaller, so they're older pseudobulbs, and as you get to this side, they're a lot bigger. So these guys are newer, and some of these are kind of rogue. They're just kind of going sideways. So the care that I give to these guys are almost the same as the care I give to most of my orchids, except the winter rest. So I actually leave these guys out in the sun, actually direct sun, in the morning, and then in the afternoon it's in direct sun. And these guys sit in the summer, throughout the entire summer, outside in about, I would say, 90 to 100 or 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the morning, and at night it was about, I would say, 60 degrees. So there's a huge temperature drop between morning and night. And that's in the summer. So what happened was when I moved these guys into the greenhouse, it was in the beginning of November. I actually put all my Dendrobium nobilis and this one, kingianum, in a winter rest. I usually water these guys every single day in the summer. However, when I started moving them into the greenhouse, it was getting colder, so I watered less. I watered about once a week or twice a week. So I went from every single day watering to about twice or once a week. And I also fertilized very little during this time. And the temperature drop was still pretty dramatic. So the greenhouse got about 80 degrees in the morning, and then at night it was about, like, say, in the 40s. So there was a huge temperature drop, and then these new growths actually came out. I'm going to show you guys a newer, let's see, here. So you guys can see here, these little new growths came out, and when they were smaller, I actually thought they were cakeys because I was still watering it a little bit more than normal. Usually people say when they're getting their winter rest, you don't water them and you just miss them when their pseudobulbs get really shrivelly, but I actually kept on watering them just less than normal. And these growths here actually looks a lot like cakeys, but you can see that when they're a little bit taller, see these, they're actually forming buds. So it's kind of hard to see, I'm sorry. I will back out a little bit. So all these are forming little buds. And these are more mature buds. You can see that. Trying to focus. So these are more mature buds right here. They're still really, really small. They're very small, and they're probably not gonna bloom in a month. They're probably gonna bloom in 2 months. So because it's cold at night, they're growing a bit slow. But you can see here, these are the old spikes that I actually have not removed. And these are the new spikes. So I'm still getting a lot of newer spikes that are still forming. I'm watering them still about once a week. And because they're potted in this clay mixture, what happens is I water using a hose, and I just hose these guys off, all my orchids off. And because they're in this very airy mix, the water actually just goes right through it. So there's not a lot of water that's staying in this container. And you can see that I poke very large holes here and here, and not a lot of water stays in here, which is why they don't get a lot of water even when I water them once a week. Now, I know that some of you guys grow these guys in semi-water culture or full water culture, and I'm not sure how that is going to affect the way that these guys bloom. Now, I've read up online that some people actually do not stop watering these kingianums. What they do is they still water the same, but they do give it a drop in temperature. And because in my environment, it's always a dramatic difference between morning and night, so it's easy for me to have that drop in temperature. I don't have to worry about that too much. But for those who are living in an environment where, like, say, they put their orchids in the office or in an apartment where temperatures might be pretty steady, it is a little bit more difficult, I believe, to have these guys spike or to have these guys stress enough to spike. So that really is my experience with these guys. I'm really happy with how it turns out. There are quite a bit of spikes that I have right here, and some of them are still peeking out. They're like this small, so they're still really small. I don't think they will flower anytime soon, of course, because they're still developing spikes. But if you have any questions, just let me know. This is my first year having them throughout the winter, and also I was able to rebloom them. So I'm really happy about that. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!